Welcome back, everybody. Well, to the one viewer that I have, but so today it's not gonna be a trading day. It's just gonna be a recap of price action. I didn't really see any opportunities today. I did see a couple of things, but just recently I purchased this trading combine challenge on Top Step, and I do not want to get it started off with a bad trade. So I'm going to be very picky about which trades I pick. So obviously I'm not going to trade on a day where, the probabilities aren't really lined up with my interest. So basically, I'll give you the full recap. I pretty much was spot on with what I thought was going to happen today. Pre-market, basically, market open was right here. So leading up to that, we had this big news event right around here, which kind of did make things a little bit more complicated considering this price action right here. So, but I'll give you the full rundown, because for pre-market, I basically marked up these lines right here, this one right here, and this one up here, for a couple of reasons that I'll get into in 1 second. Then I marked up this one after this move to the downside, of course using my volume strategy. So I'll give you the rundown of what I thought happened and why it happened. So basically yesterday, I actually did take a trade yesterday not on this account, but on the practice account. I took a short. I could actually pull it up right here. I took a short on, it wasn't even on, hold on. If you guys know how to get Top Step funded account on TradingView, I would very much appreciate that if you would let me know, because I really like this indicator right here, the SVP, and they don't have it on TradingView, which kind of sucks. So basically, I had a trade that I took on Friday. I just held it until Monday. My take profit got hit, and we ended up pushing right down off of that take profit. It was a good spot. So for the most part, let me get on I didn't take this short on my main demo account that I used for back testing my strategy, because it was a short, it wasn't a long, so there really wasn't any point. I risked 60, I made 109, so let's see. I took it right around here, so basically I'll explain this and then I'll get into today's price action, because they do tie along together. So this was our main cause for this move, this right here. Like, as you can see, we had accumulation in this top area of shorts, of sell positions, and we saw continuation. So we knew that this level up here was going to be guarded. There were going to be some protections up here. Sellers were probably going to continue their selling off of this range right here. And if price came into this area and rejected it, we knew that, price was going to go lower. So first of all, if price did that, and if we saw strength on this right here, I would have not taken the trade. I only took the trade because when we came down to here and we tested, first of all, this was a huge area. This was basically like where the selling was. We saw a continuation of sellers on this move here. Right, we came into this area the other day, pushed. That's where I entered the trade, right on this area, because this was an area of sellers. We saw exhaustion of them, and basically we saw this being used as support for the entire day. 1, 2, and 3 touches on here, both 3 times all followed by aggressive buying. So we knew that this was protected by buyers that were aggressive. So when we came down and we exhausted all those buyers, I knew that this area was going to be a little bit weak, um, because, we tested it 3 times. And for this one, we really came down and, the buyers really showed themselves, but, we exhausted them. And the reason why I believe that the buyers were exhausted is because we know that price came into here, right here, and rejected it immediately, showing that the sellers are probably going to be continuing their selling. There's just a lot of sellers in this area, right? So the buyers probably, maybe for the most part, gave up on protecting this position because they knew that the sellers would push price lower. They didn't want to risk a battle between themselves. So after, we came down, pushed below here, I entered, took profit around this area right here because I knew that there's really not much showing any aggressive buying within this area apart from here. It shows accumulation. Maybe somebody's going to be protecting this area. Pretty good trade. Exited like right here. Pretty good. So let's get into today's price action. So first of all, we knew that this was an area in which the sellers were protecting. News came in, so we had this accumulation right here on this day, right? Hold on. I think that could have an opportunity here. This could be a trade. If this area of selling gets exhausted, which I'm thinking it might, but also the reason why we have this, big gap up or this big move upwards is because we saw a lot of accumulation in this area, a lot of volume, and basically this was, telling us that these buyers are going to probably protect this area. That's what I was thinking when we were coming down. I was right. The buyers were aggressive in this area, so we know that the buyers are here. So if we do enter here, if we exhaust the sellers within this top area and right here, we're going to be going a lot higher. Because as you can see here, we have accumulation here, and accumulation in this area right here. So we have 3 sets of categories of accumulation. This one right here, accumulation, we see continuance into this area of selling. That selling is, widely accepted into this area, which we then see more accumulation. And then we see that these aggressive buyers protected this area right down here. So the stop loss would probably be down here. There's no other spot to put it. If we exhaust these buyers right here. So for the most part, right, I'm thinking, these are likely buyers, and right here, these buyers are gonna get, they're buying and they're gonna want to see a continuance to higher prices, but these sellers are not allowing it. So, we have an area of this range in which the buyers are aggressive, and we have an area of this range in which the sellers are aggressive. So we have, just a huge consolidation in this area right around here. So when market opened, I was looking at market, 9:30 rolls around, we get a huge push up into this area right here where the sellers are aggressive. Basically, I'm like, alright, probably going to see a continuance on the sell side, because they are aggressive and they're there, and we know they're there. So get a continuance down. Probably not going to come into here and accept it into this range. This isn't going to be our bounce because we come down and we have this big candle basically telling us there's a little bit of weakness in this area. Price comes down, come to these buyers where they accumulated here, protect this area, and we see continuance. So in my opinion, right, these sellers are likely going to get exhausted on possibly this move right here. And if they do, then this is a big opportunity to enter the market, probably put our stop. I would like to say, I mean, like, there's no other spot where, they would be selling, right? Like, it's possible that, but like, they accumulated at this price, and they know that, right? We see accumulation here, within this range, on here, and then we see a continuance. We see, when we see huge selling volume, and that selling volume is followed by a test of that level, and then we see a rejection of that level, we can obviously tell that the sellers are protecting that area, and they're going to want to move price lower. So we've tested it over 3 times. Right now it looks like it's definitely the strongest, though. So I definitely want to see price accept this area, and I want to see good buy. Okay, so we push up. I want to see this candle close here. I'm not going to enter a huge position, because we are going to be going into all-time highs, and it's a little bit tricky, but overall it's likely to hold. These sellers just want to protect this area right here, so when price moves above it, they have pretty much no reason to keep on protecting it, because they know that the buyers are aggressive. So if we see good buying volume in this area, we're probably going to see the sellers give up on trying to protect this area. But we have to see, because we just saw a huge wick from this area, so I would like to see the candle close above here, and then I can enter, maybe even on a retest of this area right here. I would like to see that. Yeah, this area right here. I want to see if the market could get a candle closure above here, and then we can come back down, and then I can enter right here. Honestly, I think a market order would be better, just due to the fact that this is a huge area for selling, and the sellers are finally giving up. And we know that the buyers are super aggressive, so I would like to see a huge jump up, not really a retest, unless we reject this area, right? Which then would probably cause us to come back to an area of volume in which we know. I'm not going to enter on here, because we still haven't confirmed that we're going to be going higher after this move. Still no confirmation that the sellers are giving up on their aggression. But we saw that price came down and used this as support, which is pretty good. It's pretty bullish for this exact setup. Likely putting my take profit whenever we start seeing heavy volume at the top. On most moves upward, right, we would tend to see price, shoot up. Right, it's gonna, shoot up pretty quick, and then it's just gonna find some kind of consolidation area, and that's when you want to take profit. Again, we need to wait for this candle to close. I'm thinking that this is good, and I'm gonna probably get in here. Once this candle closes, we're probably gonna be able to enter. I don't really like the idea of a limit order, though. because this is just going to be one big move. Okay, so I think I'm going to
Order filled.
one order right here. I'm still a little bit confused on how to, use the positions here, right? I don't really know too much about that. I could also enter another position here. Probably, right around this area. Although I think that for the most, I mean, we're at all-time highs, right? And the buyers are aggressive. We know that. Um, we just need to see a continuance from this point on. I'm going to have to close my position if we reject this area. Clear. This account was $36. So we have, all of this month to trade with this account. I'll just use a mental stop loss for this trade, because I'm still. I wish I could just set stop market. I guess down here, and then we'll take profit. Like we'll have a 1-to-1 RR. I would assume. I'm assuming this is how it is, right? Yeah. So, but for now we'll just. I mean, this is a $50,000 account. So, I mean, this is my first like actual trade for like capital. It looks like we might be rejecting this area right away. Although I don't see us doing. I mean, we already made a pretty big move upward, right? I think this might be because of ES. Yes, it is. It is. Okay. So ES just hit that selling area, which I should have accounted for. But I mean, for for Nasdaq itself, oh, you know what? I could have waited. This is usually what I do, but I just completely forgot because I don't have. I'm using a whole different system right here. I would have entered on, the pullback after ES hits this. But if ES, I think that the seller should give up. This is the area in which ES is probably going to be getting the most resistance. If it hits this, I might exit the position right away and then maybe wait for a better entry if possible. So honestly, let's just take a look at ES. ES accepting this area would probably be good for us. And then maybe we can enter one more contract if we get this, and then we enter a pullback. Although that would be a little bit tricky. I should have sized up possibly, but I actually did not know how much risk I would be putting on for this contract, because I've really never traded with this kind of system. It didn't really tell me how much size I would be risking in this scenario, because I don't know why it doesn't let you put your stop loss before you put the trade on. That's a little bit weird. So I guess, I mean, the normal risk that I would want to put on for this kind of trade would probably be like in the range of $100 to $200 for this account, because for this funded account, basically 5% or no 0.5% of the account is roughly around hold on, I just need to lock in for 1 second. It's around 500, so that's, or no, it's shit, I don't know. So yeah, this is the area in which we need to see price come into. That's where the selling has continued from. Let's check out from here as well. I would assume that this is also a continuance area right here. So honestly, we don't really have to worry about this area. I mean, this is where the contracts were accumulated, so, right? Overall, I think that my trading idea was pretty good, right? We saw the sellers get exhausted, and we see a big move up. That's what my strategy is all about. So it looks like we're probably going to be taking a dub on the first trade for this trading account, to be fair. I think that ES has a good opportunity as well for today. NASDAQ's probably going to continue to rip. I'm not really sure as to where I should put my take profit. I could move it a little bit higher. Maybe go for like 100 profit. Because, no, but also ES is going to hit that, and then we're definitely going to get a sell-off from there. ES is a little bit far from that, but let's actually just get the volume from this range up here. So yeah, this is our point of control. As long as price doesn't come into there on ES, we should be able to bag this trade pretty easy. We're seeing some volume at the top here. Still no resistance on ES's part, so this would all be on NASDAQ's end, whether or not we come up to that top area. I'm liking this trade so far, although this could be the peak right around here. I'm just going to keep the risk on. I think closing the trade right now could be alright, because I think that we're going to probably return to like the middle point. But the fact that ES is far away from its selling area, right? We're still like 3 points away, right? Like we would have to come into at least here, like 5-3, and we're still a little bit far away. So I think this is just a standard pullback. I'm not really thinking that this is probably going to reverse down further. It's just a pullback into a higher high, most likely. I could always enter again. See, the problem is ES is going to hit this. We're going to get a pretty severe pullback, in my opinion. Because if it's anything like NASDAQ, NASDAQ hit this level and it basically just completely rejected it. Both, like 3 times. Which means that ES definitely still has some sellers in that area. And they are definitely still aggressive. So we have to proceed with caution on here. But overall, I think that our take profit's going to get hit, and we're probably going to just walk away from the trading today with 63 profit. I mean, it's not crazy. It's definitely not crazy. It's like, for a trade, let's say, what the profit that we need for this account, I believe, is, I don't know if I can actually show this. Only 3,000. So if we do 30 divided by, or no, 3,000 divided by 30 trading days. Well, not trading days, because we actually only have 5 in a week. So more like 20. It's like only 150 profit a day required. And now that we know the size of these positions, and I have a rough idea as to how my positions are right now, right? I have a rough idea as to what size I need to use. So I think for a trade in which, so 30 points is 63. So if I have like a wider stop loss, I'll go with 2 contracts. And if I have a steep stop loss, I'll go with maybe 3 contracts. That's what I'm thinking. Because our take profit's only 30 points. My take profits are usually a lot higher. Again, I probably would have put a higher stop loss or take profit if we weren't at all-time highs. Because, when you're at an all-time high, you have nothing to go off of except for if you're using the depth of market, or like Bookmap, or if you heat maps, Bookmap, and you actually can see where like the limit orders are for sellers, right? That's like the only way that you would be able to tell, right? You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's nothing really I can do. I'm not going to move my stop. I'm not going to move it to break even. I definitely could. I definitely could, because it doesn't look like, I mean, this wick is pretty indicative of, top. It's the top of the range. I could move my stop to like here, or my take profit. I definitely think that's reasonable. Alright, time to just wait this out. 58. Well, we know that the sellers are present in this top range, right? If we take out, this would be our area. And I mean, what's ES doing? ES still hasn't even hit that. So this could be why the buyers are a little bit hesitant, but like I said, all-time highs, we usually come in. We're either going, I mean, this top range, right? We're either going to come in and break through. Honestly, I think that's like the only thing that could happen. Or we're just going to come into this little range right here and get some sellers, because I think the sellers are just selling at this top area. But I don't think that, I don't think this is going to stop anytime soon. Like, we've had accumulation here, here, and here. It's possible that, you know, this was just because of that, which means that these buyers up here are still, you know, willing to protect their position when it comes to it. So, I mean, right now we just have to wait. There's really nothing we could do. I'm going to put my faith into this trade and just let it ride. Rejecting this area. Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll accept this area as like our fair value for now. This isn't because we, you know, came into the selling area by ES. This would be pretty bad if we just, you know, lost our first trade on this account. Although it's a small loss, every loss matters. And I was super close to getting my profit taken, but the likelihood of us coming down to here, I think, is unlikely, to say the least. It's getting me a little bit nervous, though, you know. Never had stakes on the line for a trade, always just been demo trading. So, you know. Like, if this was any other scenario, I would probably, you know, I would be okay with closing out the position. But we basically had an exhaustion of huge selling. So it just makes me want to think that we're not going to just, you know, come up to this area after, you know, exhausting those sellers and, you know, come down after just only holding here for like one, like, or like for like 10 minutes, like, or maybe we will. Maybe we will, and I'm wrong. Again, I'm not really thinking that we're wrong here. The selling pretty much only occurred here. So I don't think that the sellers in this area are still going to want to protect their area here, right? Maybe we're coming for a retest of here and I get stopped out just on a retest, but I mean, I don't know. I think we're good. I think we're good, in my opinion. course, I'm nervous, but I think we're good. I think we're okay. Yeah, I think this might be because the selling in this area pretty much on ES. This spot was the selling range from here, and then we saw, no, maybe not. Oh, yeah, it was. So, you know, this isn't because of NASDAQ. Again, like, I've said this many times in my videos. ES and NASDAQ, you know, are super correlated. So when one reaches resistance, the other one's likely to accept that as resistance as well. Probably gonna come back into here, get some resistance maybe. But overall, we should accept this area as fair value because, you know, we held here. And, you know, this was just a little pullback. Maybe we come down to here, get some accumulation maybe, and then we go higher. That's what I'm thinking. actually get a good look on crypto because can actually get a good read here on how the market is feeling. Right now, we have to be careful because, well, as you can see here, let's actually just get rid of that. We need to look at where the selling originated, right? So the selling originated here, and we saw a price come up and pretty much instantly reject this area. So we have that area that was rejected, right? Actually, I really do need to mark that area. So if you guys have Ethereum, and if you have a large quantity of it, I would suggest taking like some of your position off, and then maybe you can get a better price. Then we saw also selling continuation from here. Can mark that. So 45 and 47 is what we're looking at. Why does this look different? Doesn't this look different? That's weird. It's probably better to just, like, I would prefer to put my take profit, like, higher, because I don't think in any world do we come up to here, except this area right here, where we know that the selling's most likely occurring, and then we also come up to here, and then we sell off. I think if we just come up to here, accept it, and then come up to here, we're probably going to go a lot higher. But just to keep it safe, we're just going to leave our take profit right there and let it ride. make sure that ES. Okay, ES is nowhere near reaching this level, so we're pretty much good. Market should basically just keep on continuing this trend up to here, and then I should get my take profit hit. All we gotta do is just sit on reels until this hits. That's basically how you beat trading. You just sit on reels, and yeah, you just basically get it. Seeing aggressive selling here. Pretty interesting. Are we just gonna like get edged this entire time? Like, what is going on? Alright, I'm 90% sure we're gonna hit this profit right now.
Order filled.
Holy. Holy, what the hell? Wow. I don't know what that was. I have no idea what that was. But I think we got filled for... No, I think this was the exact price. Alright, whatever. Alright, first trade on the funded account, and we hit a W. And my Chainlink limit order just got filled for $24. Nice. Reason why we have our limit order for Chainlink at this price is because this is the main point. Either going to accept this and go a lot higher, or we're going to reject it. Either way, there's a lot of volume here, so it's an important price level for any kind of move. Ethereum's moving pretty close to that resistance. Toshi, I'm also following. 8.4 is like pretty much the important level, as you can see here. Like with meme coins, the volume is like the only thing that you can use, along with like maybe community sentiment on like Twitter. It's crazy that I'm even saying that, but like Twitter and just technical analysis is literally the only thing that you could use for meme coin trading. And yeah, I mean, all these news are Twitter, so like there's no fundamentals. There's like, I guess you can also use Bitcoin dominance levels, like etc. Altcoins are probably gonna just start going up. Considering Ethereum's move. Yeah, I mean, profit target 5,300, and we had a 57. So it's not bad. Definitely could have risked up. Um, what caused that move actually? Okay, so that was a Nasdaq play. That wasn't ES. But you know, we're gonna get huge sell-offs after we come into this area, because ES is, this is a really important level for ES. It's pretty much the only level that we can even look at right now. You know what I mean? There's pretty much nothing else. Like here and here, but like I would mainly say here. That's where the consolidation was. So that's where the volume was crowded, which also means that's where the accumulation of sell orders was, you know, executed. Definitely possible that like those orders were just abandoned right down here. It's definitely possible. But like I said, we exhaust the sellers in this area right here, and we move higher. That's my strategy, and I like it a lot because it works, and it works pretty well. And I didn't develop it on my own. Took a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of research. You know, I've only been trading for 3 months, 3 to 4 months maybe. First 2 months I was trading SMC. Now I'm trading volume. So I've only been trading volume for 2 months. Yeah, it just you just need to understand market mechanics, and you can understand why the market moves. Like, every single move has a why, and if you can find the best reason for that why, then you can have the best confidence and you can have the best execution on a trade. So, really nothing crazy. I still need to get to 3,000 on this account, so 57 P&L is pretty much nothing, but it's still a win. So, I mean, that's it for today. There's really nothing else to cover. If I can actually end it, our hour-long video. Hope you guys learned something. See you tomorrow.